I owe Shyama a short talk. So I'll talk to Shyama, but it's applicable to everybody regarding a particular sutra. So those who are listening, we always start sutras from that standpoint of what does Patanjali mean when he says yoga. Okay, Ada yoga anushasana. Yoga straight away means samadhi, okay, as explained by Vyasa. Then we have to look at, okay, what is samadhi in Patanjali's terms? And then we know that's explained in the 17th and the 18th verse. So 17th verse says Samprajnata Samadhi. And Samprajnata involves that systematic process of Vitarka to Vijara to Ananda to Asmita, where you get the wisdom, Samprajna. So that is the Samadhi, that's the direction. Now, when we talk about Vitarka, okay, Vitarka Samadhi, it is a Samadhi, is absorption and wisdom emerging from absorption of the gross. Now, what does he mean? This whole idea of wisdom, wisdom about what? Okay, so that should be the next question. You know, what is the wisdom? Wisdom about what? And then we have to know that Patanjali is talking about wisdom about drishyam, wisdom about what is seen. Because we are so entrapped in the seen, and Patanjali's liberation is from the seen to the seer, from the drishyam to tada drashtuhu swarupe avasana. We want to abide in that pure Purusha, which is a witness consciousness. So we want freedom from the seen. And Samprajnata Samadhi is wisdom about everything seen. And for which you have to first really get your chitta abhoga, meaning expansion of consciousness into concentration, objects of concentration, which is always a seen object. Okay? So Vitarka is the first Samadhi. And in the second chapter, Patanjali explains what is the seen. Okay, what is the seen? And he says it is the three gunas which expresses as, in four categories he says, the group of gunas expresses as Vishesha. Okay, so that is one group. Then Avishesha, then Linga Matra, then Alinga. These are the four categories in which the seen occurs us. The seen is in front in these four categories. Now Vishesha is a group of 16 constituents. Okay, 16. And these 16 are 5 gross elements, 5 organs of action, 5 organs of perception, and the mind. These are the 16. So this is what we normally are engaged with. We get entrapped with these. So Vitarka Samadhi is concentrating on these 16. Okay, so you have to look at earth elements. Okay, what is the solidity? And Vitarka is really looking at in terms of what is a word for this gross body. So I can say anything, knee. I can say elbow. That's a word that denotes something. And then I really look into that. Okay, the word, the object denoted, my relationship with that, and the experience rising from that. All these things, is it heavy, is it light? All these things constitute that Vitarka practice. And you get, by continuous absorption in these 16 Visheshas, you get a wisdom about it. That is the prajna, wisdom about it. Due to that wisdom, you get a bit of a freedom from entrapment with the 16 Visheshas. Okay? Then where do you go? You have a special progression, vichara. Charanam actually means a movement. V actually means special. It's a special movement. So from the experiencing the gross, so you're doing asanas. It's a beautiful way of really experiencing these visheshas. And instead of the external entrapment, you start to feel something which is so subtle and refined, which is the reason behind all this movement as such. So that is vichara. So that's when you try to experience as what's the taste of the pose. Okay? Rather than what's the depth of the pose, which is a physical, the Vishesha thing, where is my body? Is my elbow touching the floor? That's an earth elementish engagement. Now you're looking at what's the taste of the pose in my consciousness. Okay? Do I feel my posture as bright or dark? This we are moving into the 5 subtle elements. Tanmatras in terms of taste, form, touch, etc. So not the gross touch, is about how is this feeling as a sense of how is it touching my consciousness. Pasvakonasana, what's this touch on my consciousness? Is it like a rough touch, or you're really trying to feel it from another dimension? So that is the 5 tanmatras, which is the vichara practice. That is called subtle. But you can jump into subtle. It's a natural progression from Vitarka. You have to really go through the gross. And then you move into who is experiencing this pose. Okay? What's the agency through which you're doing and experiencing? There is no doubt about it, that's ahankara. Okay? That is the instrument through which you're experiencing. So anytime I'm talking, it is this guy talking, yoga teacher talking, or Shyama listening. So that is the agency. That is the instrument through which you're engaging and reflecting and perceiving. So the sattva of ahankara, when you're really just pouring your awareness into this continuous I, me, my, which is forming, you will start to experience the bliss of your identity. That is the third samadhi, ananda. Normally we don't feel the bliss of ahankara. We feel the sadness of ahankara. Poor me, or I can't, how can you? And this kind of thing, the suffering of ahankara. When you really give your awareness continuously to this ahankara, you will touch upon the sattva of ahankara. And that is a beautiful bliss. And that's where many students will say that, I got enlightened. Because that's a fantastic place of bliss, of rapture. And that is the Ananda Samadhi. Okay? So we have to continue practice, observe the bliss. That's a third concentration object actually, Ananda of Ahankara. And when that happens for a long time, you then touch upon Linga Matra. And Linga Matra is just a mark. Linga means a mark. Matra means a mark only. Meaning the Asmita Samadhi. Which means you are not evident to you. Okay, normally you are evident to you as a shape, as a name, as a professional. When you reach this depth of samadhi, you is only you. Just an experience of I amness. There is nothing as a shape or as a professional, or all that has dropped off. You are pure awareness. There is nothing you can point to and say, this is what I am. There is no thisness or thatness. It is just I amness. That is Asmita Samadhi. That is Linga Matra. Meaning just a mark. You just know that I am. That's all. The Asmita is a place of composite sentience. Meaning this mix with Purusha and Sattva of Prakriti. And you will stay here for a while and you will get all the wisdom about Drishyam. Samprajnata Samadhi. And then later, once you have complete wisdom of the Drishyam, you will move into the second Samadhi. Samprajnata Samadhi. That you will move into Drishta. Okay. So, though Patanjali did not specifically mean asana as a way to do this, when we apply all this teaching to our practice, we derive a deeper meaning out of our practice. We pour Patanjali into our asana practice. It's not that Patanjali intended exactly this way. Maybe he intended, maybe he doesn't. But we pour these principles into our practice, and then we derive that meaning. So asana practice becomes a progression of that Samprajnata Samadhi. Any doubt you can ask?